I've been very blessed with an opportunity to travel around the world, having, thumping my drum about people with disability and trying to change laws in various countries, trying to help governments to become more supportive of people with disability and try to do something about it. And as a result, you meet some of the greatest leaders in the world, all over the world. I spent time and time again with the Emperor and the Empress of Japan, and we talked about how we could make a difference in the world and in their country, and going to places like Iran and Iraq and the Middle East, and meeting with their leaders, and how can we make a better society in their country for people with disability. I spent time in the former Yugoslavia and Croatia and Bosnia and places like that after the war, trying to help their country adjust to a whole hospital full of 18 to 25-year-old men that are sitting there smoking and drinking and watching TV all day because they got nothing else to look forward to in life. And then I go to a place like the People's Republic of China. When you think of it, 1.5 billion people. And then compound that anywhere from 10 to 15% of the population has some form of disability. So they've got over 150 million people, 5 times our population, who are disabled. So, of course, with the impact that Chairman Mao Zedong had on their society back in the 50s and the 60s and going a little bit into the 70s, I wanted to go to China. I wanted to see what it was like. And it was very soon after the Cultural Revolution that I went there in 1972, I believe. And to see how the country was being run, and I kept looking for people with disability, couldn't see one. Where are they? What do they do with them? Do they care them? Do they institutionalize them? And then I began to go to some of the hospitals and see surgery done with acupuncture and seeing the remnants of children with polio, etc. So I let it go for a while, but I kept going back to China. I've been going back to China for 40 years, 2, 3, 4 times a year. And then I finally got to meet this man. His name was Deng Pufang. And he was the son of the current, at the time, president of China, Deng Xiaoping. And who was, of course, a great leader who reformed, really, China. He was part of the Mao Zedong era, but then came away, became the president. But his son, of course, was a student in engineering at the University of Beijing, and the dissidents had found out who he was, and it was quite traumatic what had happened to him, and he ended up breaking his back from going out of the students' dormitory, thrown out of a window, and so it's a spinal cord injured. So I got a chance to meet him. And at the time, he was trying to do things for people with disability in his country. And so we became very, very good friends over the last 30 years. And he said, what can I do to help him with his people in China live a better life with a disability? How can we educate people who have children with disability? What can we do in our country so that they're more tolerant and understanding of disability, and change the schools and all that? So that's what I've been doing the last 30 years of my life with my relationship with Deng Pufang, is trying to help him personally adapt and adjust to his own disability, and then to encourage him with the influence that he could have in his country to make it a better place, and for which his people can grow and lead an active and as normal life as possible. And so, of course, when China received the right to host the Olympic and Paralympic Games in 2008, I was absolutely thrilled for them. And so I became involved, of course, at those very early days in 2000, 2001, to try to ensure that the Paralympic Games were just as much a part of the Olympic Games as the Olympic Games were themselves. And they unfolded magnificent. You couldn't dream a better dream. And to see Deng Pufang so proud of what was achieved in his country, to see every single event sold out with ticket sales, not given away, sold in their country, was remarkable. There are stories after stories after stories I could relate to you with my experiences with Pufang over in China, on our experiences together on the Great Wall, and trying to ensure that people with disability have access to that. And the Great Wall, when I first went there, no one was there, just me. And now there's millions of people a year that go there. And just so many remarkable things that happened to me over my 30, 40 years with that family and China. It was quite inspiring. And that leaves a very special impression in you, in your heart and in your head. If they can do what they've done with the number of people that they have and are prepared to do it, the rest of the world should also try to do the same thing. And certainly the more modern countries do, but the third world countries are still struggling so much. And I wished I had, I wished I could run the clock back 20 or 30 years, the passion, or at least the time and the energy that I had then, now to continue that, because there's still so much work that needs to be done in this area worldwide. It's unbelievable.